Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got one headline on Bitcoin and an indicator that just flashed on the monthly chart. So we'll kind of have to take a look at that after we dive on in and get you prepped for some success today. So I've got that stock heat map pulled up like always. Looking quite neutral for the morning so far. We do have a bit of a mixed bag from the close yesterday. We got Apple sitting down 1.75 and the pre-market just down 0.05. We've got Nvidia looking quite up from its close yesterday, up 6.42, and the pre-market sitting just outside of that neutral range, up 0.88. We've got Berkshire Hathaway sitting in that neutral range, down 0.06 off of its close. In the pre-market, sitting up 0.17. We've got Amazon sitting up 1.17. And in the pre-market, sitting in that neutral range, down 0.12. We've got Eli Lilly sitting neutral as well, down 0.27. In the pre-market, just down 0.1 so far. We've got ExxonMobil sitting very neutral, down 0.03 from its close. And in the pre-market, also looking neutral, down 0.12. We've got Tesla making a big move from yesterday, up a 7.59. In the pre-market, looking quite neutral though, up 0.13. We got P&G sitting down a whopping 2.75%. In the pre-market, sitting down 0.02. So also looking quite neutral. We've got Microsoft sitting up 0.74. In the pre-market, sitting quite neutral, up 0.45. We've got Google sitting up 1.82. In the pre-market, sitting down 0.28. Also looking quite neutral. We've got Meta sitting up 2.29. In the pre-market, looking quite neutral, down 0.3. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things. And those crypto bubbles, we do see quite a bit of green here on the daily. We've got Bitcoin up 1.3. We've got Ethereum up 0.1. We've got XRP up 3.4%. We've got BNB up 4.1. We've got Solana up 2.7. We've got Cardano sitting just outside of that neutral, down 0.3. We've got Dogecoin sitting up 3.3. We've got Tron sitting up 1.8. We've got Pi sitting up 7% right now. We've got Leo sitting up 0.4. We've got Stellar Lumens up at 10.1. Chainlink up at 2.5. HBAR sitting down 1.2. We've got Avalanche up 7.1, Sui up 3.5. We've got Shiba Inu just under a percent change, up 0.9. We've got TON sitting up 1.8. And to wrap that top 20 out, we've got Litecoin up 0.1. Let's hop over to those fear and greeds. We are still sitting in extreme fear on the stock side. No change on that. We do have crypto back in that fear, up 11 points. Kind of a little worrisome that we're not getting very big moves to the top side, and we're kind of moving back towards that neutral range. Does kind of lead towards if we do close that CME gap that's sitting right above us at that $85,000 range, that it might end up ticking us back into that greed area, and a pushback up any higher, coming up to that strong resistance at 90, could really put us in some high greed areas on fear and greed. Let's hop over to that liquidation heat map. We do have a lot of liquidity sitting to the bottom side of us on these higher term time frames. This 3-month chart, we did take out a lot of that liquidity when we ended up getting that strong bounce down here at 76. There's still a decent amount of liquidity to the bottom side of us though. There is starting at 74,000, almost 200 there. Quite a bit of liquidity, almost 50 million, and then all the way down to 70,800. There's a broad range of liquidity to the bottom side. These higher term time frames don't have a whole lot of liquidity to the top side. There are those brief hot spots back at the key levels that I've been pointing out the entire way up and down here. We do have some at 100,000, back at 109,000 as well. Zoom this on into that 2-week, you can kind of see things are looking pretty bare except for the key hot spots to the top side. You have right at the top side of our range 84,600 and again back up at 87,000. These are not extremely hot spots though. They can get quite a bit hotter. If you zoom this on in to that 3-day, you can kind of see the one hot spot is to the top side of us, and we'll kind of have to see if we go up and grab that on some neutral PPI data. That is the big data drop for today. That's going to be 84,677 for the hottest spot of that. It does range all the way up to almost 84,900 though. So a decent amount of liquidity directly to the top side of us. That would be very easy to grab off of the data drop. Let's get back over to that. We do have the economic calendar for today with some data coming out at 8:30 Eastern time. That will be the PPI data I was just talking about. You do see the core PPI month over month forecasted to have no change, while that year over year is looking to decrease 0.1%. Not overwhelmingly positive, but something that could easily push the markets up just a little bit. You also have initial jobless claims, which is forecasted to be coming up. So a bit of some mixed data for the morning. You also have the non-core PPI looking to have a little bit of a cool off on that month over month and a 0.2% decrease on the PPI year over year. We'll kind of have to keep our eyes out for that 8:30 data drop. That will be a big market mover. You also have your crude oil stock information coming out here at 10:30 as well. That won't be a big market mover, but I do like to keep my eye on that as it does kind of forecast a lot to come in the economy. And that's pretty much it for today's data drop. We will have the Fed balance sheet as well. I always keep my eye out on that because, there's some important data hidden in the background on those. Nothing big market moving, but it is nice to watch what happens with the federal government. You do have some big data coming out in the morning tomorrow. That will be some GDP data coming out of the United Kingdom. Might not be a massive market mover, but it will be a big market mover for that trading time. So keep your eyes out for that. It is looking to be coming in just a bit cooler, just like the US GDP data came out quite a bit cooler. We'll have to keep our eyes on that as well. They are ahead of us in the rate cutting cycle, so I have been watching both them and Canada and the European Union in general to kind of see what might be coming our way. We do have some more data coming out for tomorrow. We'll kind of have to dive on into that for tomorrow's show, but we will be getting that Michigan consumer sentiment, and that will probably be the last big market mover for the week. Let's hop over to the Bitcoin chart and say good morning to everyone in the chats. I saw Jesse Gulak in here bright and early. I also see he changed his name to Uncle Jesse, so just embracing that username, nickname there. Good morning, Jesse. Hope you're having a great day so far. We've got Mike Volmer in the chat saying good morning. Good morning to you. We've got Alexandra G in here. As always, good morning to you. I hope you're having a great day so far. Getting that coffee in. You're up extra early. I started the show a whole 30 minutes early, and you're still in the chats here. So you must not get much sleep, just like Uncle Jesse over there. We got K Diggity in the chat. Good morning to you. He says, headed to work soon, but I'm here for the next 10 minutes. Well, I hope I helped get you prepped for the day. I hope you have a great day at work, sir. We got Crypto Princess in the chat saying, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am driving, so I can't text. I'll be lurking, though. Well, I appreciate you here. Drive safe, and no need to hop in the chats when you're driving. We like everyone to be safe. So stay safe and enjoy the show. Let's hop into this Bitcoin chart. We do have the daily looking like it's got some potential to pump if we can get some liquidity to come in and really buy things up. It does look like you have a bit of a divergence here on that daily. Let me get that demonstration tool pulled up, but you are sitting with red money flow and it looks to be increasing here. So that is a bit of some downside pressure as we're coming up to a key area of resistance here. This 85-200 pulled all the way from the beginning of the range where we got that first initial bounce, and that's also sitting in a CME gap. So could be a area that we turn into some support if we get some strong money flow that really comes in on these shorter term time frames and hits those mid ranges quite hard. But it does look like this might be a strong area of resistance, come into the CME gap and continue to the downside. We have been closing out a lot of these CME gaps recently, so looking for that push back to the top side to get back into that CME gap before a continuation down, making another lower high would be a move to see with how this money flow is sitting here on the daily. The volume also being a very, very strong selling pressure here on our daily term time frame. This divergence would just be a small push to the upside. Yeah, RSAN246, new stream time. I am going back to work. Got my CDL, so I have to start work just a little bit earlier, and that means I gotta start the show just a little bit early. So going back to that initial time frame of 6:30 to 7:30 Eastern time. I hope you all can adjust your schedules just a little bit, or for those people that aren't in the U.S. or just already there. I know Jesse was extra early in the chat, so it must work a little bit better with his lunch times to be able to hop into the chats there. We got that weekly that I have been taking quite a look at over and over. You do have your MACD break has broken to the bottom side of our indicator line, and we're continuing to print bigger and bigger red candles. This will be something we will have to contend with as we get to these higher levels at about 85,000 and that 90,000 range. If we can push that high, that's going to be a bit of a switch over. We do see the MACD, which is getting more of a sideways move here. So if we can continue to see some upside movement, we can potentially break the bearishness on the weekly time frames. That is a big if there. We also are starting to see some bearish indicators starting to flash on our monthly chart. We're going to have to dive into that one after we get into that article, though. We do have that 4 hour looking like it's quite toppy here as we tried to approach the CME gap and that 85-200 range. This is a lightening of our green candles here on the MACD as we get some sideways movement, and your prime oscillator getting that rollover here with very light buying volume, and your money flow looking to come back out all over again. We are sitting above that old CME gap, so a little bit of support is right underneath us. Looking for a potential bounce back at that 81,000 to try to get back up to that CME gap, close that one out. I don't have it drawn out, but I'm sure Piper will end up talking about it a little bit later today. I'm sure he talked about it yesterday. I haven't been able to watch his show because I've been quite busy, but I'm sure he talked about it because, he's always on top of those charts. Let's hop into that hourly chart here. We do have us looking like we have the potential to see that strong bounce that I was talking about here on that 1 hour at $81,000. You do see the MACD moving quite sideways here, looking for a last little push down before we really get that strong curvature back to the upside. Prime oscillator sitting red here. We've got a few divergences, but your money flow is looking pretty solid in the green, getting a little bit of some curvature back to the upside. Your volume is selling volume, but that is very easy to contend with as long as our money flow stays green. So a few indicators to push us back up to that CME gap. You do have a strong resistance area above that CME gap as well, which is that 87,800, which is that 382 on our fib retracement. Let's hop into that 15-minute chart and see what the morning might be bringing our way here. You do see our money flow being quite strong, but your prime oscillator and MACD both getting that curvature back to the downside here, looking like a bit of a break of trend as we made very equal highs here and looking to start making some lower lows, making some equal highs here after that last push up and rolling back over. So it does look like you might be seeing a little bit of some downside as we wait for that PPI data. You have been seeing that stock market opening up quite neutral, so seeing Bitcoin retrace just a little bit to try to potentially get a pump off of the data if it does come out at that forecast or a little bit under would be the move to see, especially with how this money flow is trying to maintain that green buying volume here on the 15-minute, but your selling volume is quite steady. Looking for that quick switch over in money flow to not really counteract the selling volume. It does look quite similar on a bunch of these charts, bleeding all the way up to the higher term time frame. So we're really going to have to see that switch in the volume. That's going to be that big switch over from bearishness to bullishness as we get to key levels. All right, I did have a few alt requests. I am gonna have to do a bit of a shorter show this morning, so I have Ondo, Sweet, and Ada in my list. If there's any other alt requests or TA requests in general, go ahead and drop those in the chat. I got this one news article I really wanted to talk over, and then I was gonna dive into some charts. Let's get that pulled up real quick. I see Crypto Billy in the chat. Good morning, good morning. And I see Crypto Coin Mindset. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. I see Donato Cabrera and Jay Violet. Good morning, good morning. Hope you guys are having a great day. Let me get that link to Crypto Coin Mindset channel dropped in that chat for you. If you haven't subscribed and given his content a watch, should definitely do that. I know he's coming out with some fantastic videos coming here soon. I helped record 2 of them, and I know he reached out to Piper for another one, and I heard he did one with Crypto Billy. So a bunch of great videos will be heading your way quite soon on Crypto Coin Mindset's channel. I see Soul requested. Let me get that in the list. I'm not seeing any other ones, but if you do have anything else you'd like me to take a look at, go ahead and drop that in the chat for me. All right, we got Bitcoin price risks further crash as S&P monthly LMACD turns bearish. Why bulls have only 20 days. Crypto analyst Tony Severino has warned that Bitcoin's price risks a further crash. This came as he revealed a critical technical indicator which has turned bearish for the flagship crypto, although he noted that BTC bulls can still invalidate this current bearish setup. Bitcoin's price at risk of further crash as S&P monthly LMACD turns bearish. In an X post, Severino indicated that Bitcoin price could crash further as the S&P 500 monthly LMACD has begun to cross bearish and the histogram has turned red. This development is significant as Into the Block data shows that BTC and the stock market still have strong positive price correlation. The crypto analyst stated that BTC bulls can turn this bearish setup for Bitcoin price in the next 20 days, as diverging would lead to a bullish setup instead. However, the bulls' failure to turn this around for Bitcoin could lead to a massive decline for the flagship crypto, worse than it has already witnessed. Severino stated that a confirmation of this bearish setup at the end of the month could kick off a bear market or black swan type event similar to what happened when the last two crossovers occurred. It is worth mentioning that Bitcoin has already crashed as low as 76,000 recently, sparking concerns that the bear market might already be here. However, crypto experts such as BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes had suggested that the bull market is still well in play for the Bitcoin price. Haynes noted that the BTC correction around 30% from its current all-time highs, which he remarked is normal in a bull run. The BitMEX founder predicts that the flagship crypto will rebound once the U.S. Federal Reserve begins to ease its monetary policy. BTC still looking good despite recent crash. Crypto analyst Kevin Capital has suggested that Bitcoin's price still looks good despite the recent crash. In his latest market update, he stated that BTC remains the best looking chart and that everything is going according to plan for the flagship crypto. The analyst predicts that Bitcoin could still come down and test the range between 70 and 75,000, which he claims would be completely fine. Kevin Capital remarked that Bitcoin price could remain afloat if it holds a key market structure and the 3-day MACD resets. He added that some decent macro data could help the flagship crypto stay above key support levels. The US CPI data will be released today. That was yesterday. Which would provide some relief for the market if it shows that inflation is slowing. The analyst is confident that one good inflation report and the FOMC can help turn the tides. This is definitely something I will be keeping my eye on, as a lot of these assets are looking quite bearish. Let's do a very quick rundown of that. I was looking at things on a higher time frame chart here, was looking at that weekly, and you can kind of see here you do have a lot of potential for downside, not just in crypto but for the stock side as well. You do have that MACD breaking quite strong here on the NASDAQ, sitting on that money flow coming out quite steadily. It is looking to switch back over to red, and your volume is quite red selling volume. You have the same thing for your S&P 500 breaking below that fib extension I had drawn out and creating a bit of a CME gap there. Dow Jones sitting quite in the same area. It is holding up a little more resiliently. You also have that Russell 2000 and that risk on asset class for indices doing quite the same here, but instead of making an equal high like the rest of the market has, it did make a lower high here as you rejected off of that trend line back there and tried to hold your 382 as some support. really looking quite bearish across the board. We'll kind of have to see how this all plays out. This is that S&P 500 that they were talking about in that article, and here's that monthly view, and this is what he was talking about here. As you do see this MACD looking to cross your indicator line here on our monthly chart. You also have that prime oscillator looking for some curvature to the downside as your money flow is starting to get that curve back down here, and your volume is staying quite steady in some selling volume. So those higher term time frame charts, not just on Bitcoin but across the board, are looking quite bearish. On the opposite side of things though, gold does still look strong, which is not too unexpected, as it is that in hedge against inflation, and it is a safety asset here. You do have us sitting right back at that platinum pocket on our fib extension that I've had drawn out for quite a while here, looking to potentially break that as we find some support below us at the golden pocket. You do have your MACD looking like it's got a little more room to run here, but your prime oscillator getting that curvature back over after a reversal signal. Really going to be watching this money flow here on my 4-hour chart and my 1-hour chart to really see if we will get a continuation off of a bounce back here at the golden pocket at $2,930. That's a 1 hour also looking like it's going to see a bit of a cool off here, but your money flow staying quite strong as the volume is rolling over just a bit, getting that prime oscillator to cool off just a bit here, and your MACD at a very crucial point where you can either break back to the upside or continue to the downside here. We'll kind of have to see what that PPI data brings our way this morning. I got Steve Hickey in the chat. Good morning to you. We got Rashad in the chat. Hope you're having a great day, sir. He says it's 3:30 p.m. there. It is 5:58 in the morning here, so hope everyone's having a great day so far. Did BC change its starting time? I thought it was 7 a.m. Eastern time. Yep, switching that over because of the job, so this will be the new starting time. It is actually the old starting time. I was sitting off work for the winter, and was just chilling and saw that there was a potential for a nice different time frame where I could bleed straight over into Alex O Crypto show. So I took advantage of it, and now that I'm going back to work and driving a semi truck, I got to be to work even earlier. So had to change that time back to the old time all over again. So thank you for everyone that showed up today. I know it's a bit earlier than normal. We got Ondo requested, Sui requested, Ada, and Soul. So if there are any other alt requests you'd like me to take a look at, or any TradFi assets either, I can take a look at those. I see Trade Intuition in the chat. Good morning to you. Thought you started at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Yep, and that's what everyone was just saying. Yeah, I did for a few months, because I wanted to sleep in just a little bit more, and then now I'm going back to work. So got to start the show early all over again. So I appreciate you being here. Of course, because you're here, that means you didn't get any sleep. So I hope you get some sleep today, Joe. We got Ave requested. All right, let's hop into some of these alt requests here. We've got Ondo was that first request, so let's get that pulled up here. I believe it's in that, yep, top 30 there. All right, looking like it's a little bit bearish here on the weekly, but let's zoom this on in to the daily and see where we're sitting here. I did talk about a level I wanted to see hold, which was the highs of the bear market, which is a little bit worrisome here. You see a lot of these alts sitting at bear market levels, which is not what you want to see when Bitcoin is only retracing 30%. So we will kind of have to see how well a bunch of these hold up. You do have a bit of a range here on For the bear market, as you can kind of see here, we got all the way down to that 60 cent range where you can kind of find some strong bounces, looking for some strength to really come in on SWE with some money flow. You do have that daily MACD and prime oscillator looking like you could very easily push back up to our platinum pocket here and 92 cents with some strong money flow coming in. You do have that selling volume here on the daily slowing up, so that is a nice indicator to see as you see the prime oscillator switch over from heavy red to light red and create a divergence here with your MACD set to cross on the bottom side. Let's zoom that on in to the hourly, kind of see what we're looking at for the day here. You have your volume, which is looking to swap over from some selling volume into some buying volume here. So that is a nice little thing to see, but you do have your prime oscillator looking like you might get some rollover back to the bottom side, really get a third touch here back at 83 cents before you see a strong move back up to that platinum pocket. We will have to watch and see if Bitcoin does try to close that CME gap to the top side of us at 85,000. If we do make that move, I would look at us coming back up to the platinum pocket for Ondo. You do see us in the morning bringing a little more downside, the same as I was talking about on that Bitcoin chart, looking to get that strong bounce off of the top of our CME gap for Bitcoin and looking to get that strong bounce here off of our highs from October here on Ondo. So looking for that 83 cent range to really see that strong bounce. Your prime oscillator looking very, very heavy on some selling as you did switch immediately from green to red after we got that reversal signal, with your MACD also getting that nice curvature back to the downside here as we have crossed that zero line. So looking for that money flow to come back in. You do see your volume starting to switch over from red to green, so that could be an indicator for a push to the top side if we do find some strong support back below us. It does look like you made a lower high here, so looking to really consolidate and create a reversal of trend. Let's hop into SWE. I've got that one on my favorites list as well. Let's hop over to SWE. It is number 11 there. Let's zoom on out to that 4 hour, see what we're sitting at. We are right below the platinum pocket. Looking a little bit flaggy here as you are making some higher lows and equal highs. So a potential for a break to the bottom side if you do see that volume and money flow really roll over here. Your prime oscillator really curved here as it is trying to move quite sideways and break a bunch of the bearishness right above us at that $2.30. You can see all of these wicks here on the 4 hour indicate everything right above us is some selling volume. You did see a bit of a fair value gap here on the way down, looking to really close that out with the top side being $2.36. Actually, it actually was closed with that giant wick to the top side. So sitting in the middle range of that fair value gap there, looking to try to find some strength back at the top. You do have that 1 hour looking like you're going to see a bit of some rollover here. MACD really tight with that indicator line as we try to stay above our zero line. Your prime oscillator sitting in the green, but a reversal signal just flashed here, looking to potentially try to create another higher low and see if we can keep this consolidation going and wait for some money flow to come back in. You did see some brief selling volume here and have switched back over to some light green volume. So really waiting for that from the short-term time frame to bleed over into the higher-term time frame. Your volume is nice and green here on the 15-minute, but you are getting a bit of a rollover here on your prime oscillator, as well as the MACD looking to find some strong support below us. Let me get that drawn out with a horizontal ray. We've got those very, very equal lows down here at $2.17. That'd be that strong bouncing point I would look for, and a nice strong triple bottom there, as you are making very equal highs all in this area of $2.30. So that's going to be that strong area of resistance. We will need to try to get back above. We will need to find some strength below us, though, to really make that push back up, cool off these oscillators on our shorter term time frames to really make that strong push up. You do have that platinum pocket just like Ondo sitting right above us. That's going to be $2.40 here for sweet. Let's hop over to ADA. That was requested as well. Scroll on down. We got ADA there in that top 10. Looking like it's trying to find some strength here at our golden pocket. Let's zoom that on out to the daily look and see what we're seeing there. Does look like it's trying to hold that golden pocket quite nicely here. Your MACD does have a little bit more room to the downside with how your volume is sitting here from light green to light red here on our daily. We could just move quite sideways here on our golden pocket and 70 cents. That would continue that trend of making some higher lows here. That's kind of a positive to see on ADA, especially after all of the news that we've heard on ADA and a potential for a crypto reserve that does include it. We'll kind of have to see if we can get some more bullish news to head its way. I did drop a news article about ADA, and it's AI partnership. So looking to see if we can have some continued bullish news for ADA. It is looking quite resilient, though, a little more resilient than some of these other altcoins. I see Ernie in the chat saying good morning. Good morning to you. Would ever CAS recover? Arsan. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at Caspillion in forever. I sold off around like I believe it was like 21 cents, and then I never looked at the Caspa chart again. So I might have to take a look at that if I've got the time this morning. Let's zoom this on in to that hourly, see what the day might be bringing our way. We do have that strong data drop coming out here shortly at 8:30 Eastern time, and that will be that PPI data. So if we can get that nice sideways movement here on this hourly, wait for that MACD line to cross our indicator line on the bottom as we print light red candles here on this histogram. You could see a very quick swap over to bullish as we do see that prime oscillator waiting for some money flow and volume to come in with some strength. You've got a lot of selling volume here, but it has slowed up quite a bit, looking for that switch to the green. You do have that golden pocket right below us as some strong support and 70 cents. That'd be that area I'd kind of look for if we do get a bit of some rollover. That's where that 15-minute chart is looking at a crucial point here. You have your MACD crossing that zero line, and as soon as it ended up crossing, started printing light green candles on our histogram and getting some more sideways movement here. Your prime oscillator is also getting that rollover back to the bottom side, but it's doing it with some very sideways movement. So looking a little more bullish than some of your other alts here. You do have that volume, which is picking up as some buying volume. So really waiting for that money flow to come in quite strong as well. You do have that potential for another low side bounce here down at that 70 to 71 cent range and continue on up to our strong resistance at 70 66 cents. We do see Bitcoin making that move up to close the CME gap above us. I would look at 76 cents for ADA. We had Sol and Aave requested. I think I got time for both of those. We'll kind of have to see. Let's hop into that Solana chart. And as you can see, we're sitting up below a strong area. I wanted to see us hold there. You did make that move towards the golden pocket, and we're flagging out just a bit. That was that $118 range I had talked about. I did talk about the potential to come all the way back down to 106, and we came extremely close for Solana. We wicked out at $111, which looks like it was a local bottom here as we try to get back up above the $130 range here. As soon as we had broken our trend line here, we really moved quite strongly to the bottom. You do have some nice green candles on our histogram here, and your MACD is kind of slowing up on that move back to the top side. You've got your prime oscillator getting some heavy curvature, looking for some more downside movement, as you do see your money flow being quite red here, looking to roll over all over again. Your volume is looking very light as some buying volume, so we do have that to contend with. If you do see that money flow continue to come out, that volume could very quickly switch over to some selling volume, which would drop that price a little bit further. I still have that 106.51 as a bottom side target for Solana. Would be a nice buying range unless we are going to continue some downside action on the markets in general. Let's zoom that on in to the 15-minute and see what the morning is bringing our way. Quite like a lot of these alts, you do see that nice strong curvature back to the bottom side here on your MACD and prime oscillator. Money flow really coming out here on Solana as you're looking to potentially break into some selling on the money flow. You have your volume trying to hold up quite steadily as some buying volume, though. You have very, very equal lows below us, sitting at about $123. So that'd be that area I would kind of look at for a potential bounce and continuation back up to that 130 for the morning. All right, we had Aave requested as well. I think it's been a little while since I've taken a look at Aave. Let's scroll it on down. Take a look at Aave. I was looking for a long the other week and didn't end up taking it. It ended up being a short instead. So let's take a look at that 4 hour and see where we're sitting there. I did have a few key levels that I had been looking at for a bounce here. We ended up getting that rejection back down below the platinum pocket, just like some of those other alts we were taking a look at this morning. You know, altcoins are not holding up very well. You are sitting below the platinum pocket with some strong resistance above us at $194. Looking for that curvature back to the top side here on our MACD as we just broke above our indicator line here on the bottom side. It is getting some nice strong movements up here. Your prime oscillator looking like it's got a little more cool off to do, though. This is flagging out in the opposite direction, so a potential for a break up if you can see some strong money flow coming in. You have your volume rolling over here as the selling volume looks to slow up, so some money flow could really switch that price action here on Aave. Let's zoom that on into the hourly, see what we're seeing here. Getting that bit of a curvature here on our prime oscillator and MACD as that MACD is trying to approach our zero line here. We've got very equal lows sitting right below us at 167. So seeing a bit of some consolidation on that range might be a move to see get a strong bounce off 167 before we really try to push back up towards that platinum pocket there. Let's see what the 15-minute chart and the morning are bringing our way. sitting quite the same as a lot of those other alts. Got a bit of a double top here on our prime oscillator as we try to break these equal highs that we've been making, and looking for that volume to try to hold steady to keep us a little bit bullish here. You do have that MACD and prime oscillator looking like it's going to roll over here, so looking for that third strong bounce off 167 before we try to make that pushback up towards our platinum pocket. There will depend a lot on the PPI data that drops here at 8:30 Eastern time, so make sure to keep your eyes out on that data drop. It is 6:15 my time, and I do have to go to work here, so I hope y'all trade safe today. If you didn't watch that Crypto Billy video for the morning, I know Jesse dropped that in the chat. Let me get that let me get that copied there. Oh, Jesse, if you could actually, I think I got it there. Jesse, actually, if you can drop that link to Crypto Billy's video from this morning, I would greatly appreciate that. I know you probably got it ready. I did not have it in my links this morning. So other than that, everyone, make sure to trade safe. Hop over to Alexo Crypto here in about 45 minutes and get the trade setups for the morning, and then come back over here to the Piper Academy. We got that morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We got Trade Academy with Trade Intuition, a great spot to learn some TA, have some fun, ask some questions, learn something new, or refresh yourself on something you might have forgotten. That's the place to do it. We also have, I believe, one more night of Crypto Nightcap with TradeFly at 8 p.m. Eastern time. He had to come back for the people and give the people what they were asking for this week. Everyone's been missing that nightcap. We've also got Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto here for the last show of the week at 11 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're up late, go ahead and stop by, give that man a like, ask him a question on those Elliott wave theories, because that man can go on for quite a while, and there's a lot to break down on that. So if you're interested in Elliott wave theory, go ahead, hop in his videos and ask him some questions on it, because he's very, very smart on that. Other than that, make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a volatile but good day.